in the case of rehab, the PJ has to have written rehab standards. And one of the things in the 2013 rule that is new is those rehab standards have to take into account the useful life. Okay? So when I'm doing the rehab of a property for rental purposes, I have to look and say, hey, the roof may be fine today, but how long is it going to last? Right? If the roof only has 5 more years of useful life left, and I've got a 15-year period of affordability, then I need to now make a decision. Am I going to replace that roof, or am I going to increase the replacement reserve? But I have to do some combination of more rehab or more reserve funding in order to make sure that over the affordability period, those needs of the property will be met. Because one of the lessons that we learned from having to go do a bunch of home workouts and seeing some failed projects was that in some cases we didn't, more often than not, people erred on the side of not doing enough as opposed to doing too much, right? So anytime we've got a project that has 26 or more total units, that evaluation needs to be done with a capital needs assessment. If it's less than 26 units, the PJ could still require a capital needs assessment, but is not required to, because again, they can always be more restrictive. But the PJ has to take into account the useful life of the major systems, and if those major systems or components have a useful life left of less than the anticipated affordability period, then we either need to go ahead and replace them or account for their replacement within a reserve calculation. Home funds cannot directly capitalize the reserve. Now, HUD recognizes that all else being equal, we are indirectly putting more home money in, right? Because if I say, I need $100,000 placed into the reserve, I can't pay for that with home, and I'm going to pay for it with tax credit equity. Well, now something that tax credit equity otherwise would have paid for, it's not paying for, that now I may be paying for with home, right? Or if instead of capitalizing it all up front, I say, instead of putting $300 per unit per year away, I want you to put $500 per unit per year away. Well, that's less operating revenue available to make the mortgage payment. A lower mortgage, a bigger gap. So we recognize that that means bigger home investments. But the shorthand here is, if we're going to do it right, right? We're not doing anybody any favors to do more projects that are going to then fail.